Okay, good morning. My
Good
name
morning.
is Jeff Lovejoy. I'm a certified business coach here at Action Coach, and I'm talking this morning with Matt Bowman, who is the owner of the Tradition Company. Morning, Matt.
Hey, good morning, Jeff. How are you?
I'm doing great, thank you. Hope you as well.
I am.
Excellent. So, Matt, tell me about the business. I know that you do tradition Christmas trees, and you got car washes, you got and a market and a garden. And tell me a little bit about the Tradition Companies.
Sure. There's a lot going on for sure. I want to say thank you too. Thank you for the opportunity to speak with you, and I look forward to this.
Pleasure. Pleasure.
So the Tradition companies, basically, I have a couple different companies under the Tradition brand. The oldest one is Tradition Trees, which is my Christmas tree company. We started in 2006 as a pop-up seasonal retail Christmas tree business. I started with one location in Little Five Points here in Atlanta, Georgia. Expanded over the years, and currently we usually set up 5 or 6 pop-up seasonal retail locations, as well as handle decorating. That's Christmas lights on people's houses or businesses. A big part of the business is delivery, installation, and removal and recycling of Christmas trees. Essentially we're a full-service Christmas company, and we've been that since day one. Service is a big part of what we do. We like to tell people we make Christmas easy, just one way or another, and that's part of. You can get a little more joy out of the season if it's not paying the next, setting up your tree, taking it away, all that good stuff.
Absolutely.
Similarly, I've got 2 other active brands: Tradition Market & Garden and Tradition Car Wash. So Market & Garden is a small market and garden center. I bought the former Farmer D's Garden Center. This was back in 2018. In 2017, I had sold Tradition Property Services, not the name, but the landscaping route. I mean, I basically had a regular maintenance business. I sold that when my wife and I had our first child, and helped bring him along the first year of his life, which was really awesome. And then in 2018, I ended up buying this garden center. I formerly had I used to run pop-up produce stands in the summertime under the Georgia Farm to Table brand. And I'd always had this farm stand concept in my head where my mom's from rural New England. You can't go 5 miles down a country road without hitting an old farm stand. They're still out here in Georgia all over the place, where you can buy a vine ripe tomato or even a tomato plant, maybe a cup of coffee and a biscuit or whatever. I mean, that was kind of the concept. At some point, I'm gonna open up this farm stand concept. I had the opportunity to acquire the Farmer D Garden Center. Basically, it would just worlds collided, where I was able to make it for a relatively inexpensive investment and take a shot at getting into the garden center business, as well as kind of launching the Market & Garden concept. And I started doing that, and the place where I am and the guy that I bought it from also had a hand car wash in the same business or the same location. So when we did our deal for the garden center, I got a right of first refusal on the car wash, and I quickly learned, hey, that car wash is the business that I really need to jump into. So anyway, I ended up executing that in about 6 months later. It pretty much sucked up all my available cash. So I've been kind of the Market & Garden concept has been it's good, but it's not great. It's actually where I am trying to focus some of my energies on getting the market up to speed. But basically, I just didn't have the resources to focus on that. Where it was a whirlwind, Jeff, to tell you the truth. So in May of 2018, I bought the garden center. In October of 2018, my wife had our second child. Christmas is a crazy business for me. So October 29th, Henry was born. November 15th, I closed on the car wash. November 17th, Christmas trees hit the ground. I spent 2019 in a whirlwind, trying to figure out how to organize everything and make sure everything gets done. And I am I hate to say it, but I am kind of a solopreneur. I wear a lot of hats and keep all the plates spinning. So it's been challenging and yet fun. I mean, honestly, I like figuring it out. It's been I'd love to tell you that I sleep 8 hours a night, but I don't, whether I'm dealing with my kids or thinking about my business. But it's I love the challenge, and I love doing it. I mean, a long story short, kind of the tie that binds is that since 2006, really, I've known the big trend that I've recognized is that we've gone from a do-it-yourself world to a do-it-for-me world. There's just a ton of stuff that people either don't have the time, more likely don't have the time, or the know-how knock out. And that creates these long honey-do lists or just, and we try to fill in the gaps there. So everything that I do, whether it's at my brick and mortar car wash and garden center or a pop-up Christmas tree stand, we will bring to you. So that means we will wash your car, we will bring you firewood, we'll bring you pumpkins, we will plant an organic vegetable garden. I mean, there's a decent list of things we do. It's about 8 to 10. And then we also have some products that kind of are complementary. So we look at ourselves as kind of a lifestyle company overall, honestly. And that's what we do. We do a lot of services and a lot of quality products, and most of those require services like firewood. You know, I mean, you can go to the grocery store and get a bag of firewood, but it's still heavy and clunky and all that kind of stuff versus paying us to bring a pickup truck load and stack it right where you want it, so you always have it available. Same thing with Christmas trees, car washes, pressure washing, you name it. We'll knock it out for you.
Excellent. So you must be really busy with all these different businesses going on. And did you start consciously thinking about gardens and car washes to kind of offset the seasonality of the Christmas tree market, so that when one stopped, the other would kind of pick up?
You know what? That is true. And you know, back longer history, I guess. So, you know, when Christmas was obviously it's a big part of my year. In fact, still Christmas makes more revenue than my other operations during the other 9 months of the year, essentially. But yeah, when I was younger and was doing Christmas, I did have a landscaping service, and we, at the same time, I was working with my brother at this point. We did these pop-up produce stands as well. So we're always doing something. But the landscaping business was definitely counter-cyclical, and then the pop-up produce stands was really kind of it was almost an experiment, where low risk experiment where we could kind of try our hand at some more outdoor retailing and stuff. And I've always kind of thought that way seasonally. Like, so now the way that's changed is basically we kind of go from Christmas tree season really takes us through January, taking stuff down and warehousing all our stuff and just putting Christmas away, and then get a little couple weeks to breathe easy. And then really early March, we crank up with garden installation. We're known for organic vegetable gardening. We've got some great cedar raised bed products. And again, it's anyone could come to the store and buy one and put them together and haul the soil in there and plant the vegetables. At the same time, I mean, that's a 2, 3, 4 hour ordeal, depending on what, level of expertise or desire you have. So again, we just kind of jump into another season. We did over 80 installations this past spring. I'm proud to say I did a lot of them myself, just because we couldn't trust, at the end of the day, I couldn't trust guys to quarantine the right way. And honestly, it was a great opportunity for me to get in some in front of customers personally. So now that the garden season's kind of over, we're focusing more on our car wash, where we're really promoting our mobile car wash, where we'll come to you. We'll have a big Christmas in July sale as well, where we'll start really promoting all our brands and services, products and stuff. But definitely trying to do some cool stuff with Christmas, get people thinking about Christmas already.
Nice. Well, you're to be complimented, because I love the fact that you haven't kind of lost sight of family. And a lot of business owners get so caught up in the day-to-day doing the work of their business that they kind of the business hijacks their personal life, and it's I'm a firm believer of the opposite. The business has got to support the personal life, not the other way around. So it sounds like you've been able to accomplish that.
Yeah, it's a fine line, no doubt about it. I mean, I do find myself sometimes feeling like, oh, I wish I had a couple more hours to commit to the business. At the same time, I do think in the 21st century, as a small business guy, entrepreneur, there's so many resources at your disposal for really all facets of your development as a business owner, as a father, as a husband, whatever it is. And that work-life balance, obviously, you're not going to be as successful as a business leader for your organization if you're not taking care of those other aspects of your life. And I mean, I've been there. I tell you, I have been there, where I'm doing the 80 hour, 100 hour, 120 hour weeks. But you find, again, I found that if I don't find someone, if I need to be working that hard, I don't have a business.
Right.
I'm not delegating the right way. And listen, I still need help. I need help on it all the time.
Yep. Yeah, I always say if you're doing that, you have a job, you don't have a business. So.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely.
So Matt, who are your ideal clients?
Gotcha. Our ideal clients are families, kind of make up our main demographic, with again, the modern upper middle class family is generally a lot of times a 2-income family. Mom and dad maybe both work, and time becomes that big factor. You know, time is the I tell people that's what we do. We sell free time. So that's really the impetus for people to seek us out through search, or maybe they hear about us through word of mouth referrals. But we're looking to sell people on, okay, these guys can take care of some high quality products and knock out these services for me, and they're accountable. We have, you know, it's not, people find us and we're not, you know, from a lead gen website. We're not from a, you know, amalgamator. It's people hear about us because we try to directly market to our customers, and they get the value proposition that says, hey, these guys are going to allow me to go to my kid's soccer game and come back and the yard's cut, the driveway's pressure washed, the firewood's there. So that's really what the main driver for us. And then, and again, those families are, the demo is, you know, anyone from 29, 30, you know, where they've got young kids, up to, you know, the baby boomers who have all these needs and just don't want to, they might have the time, but they just don't want to, you know, they don't want to load firewood anymore. They don't want to sell anymore. So those are the folks who we're going for. And again, we still have a good old brick and mortar physical location. So for folks in our neighborhoods, you know, we're trying to get that drive-by traffic, and you know, we really are I'd like to think of ourselves as a true 21st century retailer where we have a physical brick and mortar presence, but almost all my marketing efforts are driven to brand awareness and immediate need satisfaction.
Got it. So tell me the address of your brick and mortar.
We're at 2154 Briarcliff, which just got annexed into Brookhaven. So we're technically Brookhaven, Georgia, but that's the south side of 85. It's the very southern end of what is now Brookhaven. We're not quite the hard corner of Briarcliff and La Vista, but we're there was a Whole Foods on the corner of Briarcliff and La Vista, and we're kind of catty corner from them. So La Vista Park neighborhood, Emory neighborhood, North Druid Hills neighborhood, even Morningside, we're right there.
Great, great. So let's get a little bit into the impact that COVID's had on the business. What have you been impacted by it, and if so, in what way?
You know, absolutely, we've been impacted. I mean, March, April, May are the best months of the year for my businesses outside of Christmas. From the garden center perspective, I mean, we can just sell a ton of stuff retail. And honestly, the retail segment, the retail part of our revenue it's not great. We're not living or dying by the retail garden business, basically. But that being said, I mean, it does drive revenue, especially this time of year. And then the car wash, you know, pollen season, and just, we do a ton of business in March, April, May. People getting ready to go on spring break or whatever. You know, people are cleaning their cars. So, and we couldn't keep we didn't open. We ended up doing we kind of pivoted where we were taking by appointment only. So it was in a mini detail, which, I mean, we have different levels of service. You can just come and get an exterior wash, you know, for $12, or a full service, you know, inside, outside, but it wasn't worth obviously being open for 3 or 4 of those a day. So we ended up doing by appointment only, mini details and up. And, you know, that it kept, most importantly, it got some of my guys back to work. I immediately applied for the EIDL and got that right away. And then I applied for PPP. I'm happy to go more into that later. But anyway, long story short, it did impact. I mean, it was we were going to just certainly lose some revenue, and there's only so much cost cutting we could do. We still got to pay rent. We still got all this stuff. My landlord's been super nice to me. But we did pick up demand on the garden side. So just from the installation side. So there was a ton of demand. People were talking about, you know, like a Victory Garden from World War II. Something trended on social media, and we did have an immediate impact from that. So we did a ton of delivery. We've got a great organic planting mix. And again, the brand that I bought, Farmer D's, was still well known in Atlanta. So we do have a decent book of business where we did curbside. We technically, since we were market, we were essential. So we ended up changing our hours where we were open on Wednesday afternoons from 1 to 4, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 9 to 5. So we promoted that, and we were bringing our veggie starts in on Fridays, and usually would sell them out through the week, and then Friday get another load and stuff. So, you know, again, we were able to keep our heads above water, which was nice. And it was a great opportunity for me to go out in front of customers and really just do some good old fashioned one-on-one brand building right in front of customers. So that was a good opportunity. But yeah, we unfortunately lost a ton of revenue.
Are you starting to see it coming back?
We're probably still about 50% off. At the same time, we've managed to make some hay, again, just kind of trying to make relationships with people. We've been busy with pressure washing and other things. And it's allowed me, now that I'm kind of done doing the garden installs, I've been able to retrench and do some of the work of strategy, tactics, all that kind of stuff that I want to do to take the brand to the next level. I'm really excited. Our website should be ready in a couple weeks. It's up right now, and it's not great, but at the same time, it's kind of telling people what we do. Tradition company site, because again, my biggest challenge, honestly, is that people, they experience our brand in one way, and they don't necessarily know everything that we do. So, Jeff, maybe you heard about us because your neighbor got a Christmas tree delivered, and you ended up getting a Christmas tree delivery, and you're like, wow, that was great. Now, my guys probably handed you a trifold brochure or a free car wash or something. We're always doing that kind of cross-marketing stuff, but at the same time, we run into big problems with total awareness. So I've been trying to kind of take the individual silos, the Tradition Trees, Marketing Garden, and Car Wash, and meld it. And I want everyone to think of the brand as tradition, not just Tradition Trees or Tradition Car Wash. Really have that macro concept of what we do. And it's hard because we do a lot of stuff, we really do. And it can sound different and like it's, oh man, you guys are trying to do too much, but honestly, it's all, it works for our world. And again, people seem to like it. So we're able to, the lifetime value for me for acquiring a customer is almost unlimited. I mean, I have no idea how much services or products they could buy from us. And again, my challenge as the marketer and retailer is to figure out what other services and or products I can provide at a margin that makes sense for everybody.
Right. Excellent. So what are the one, two, or three top learnings that that you've come out of COVID with? I mean, how has it affected you as a leader?
I've always taken great pride and ownership of employing people, so digging into PPP and seeing what that was going to do for me and my guys was great. I give myself overall like a B- in accounting. I'm just like a lot of small business guys. I'm like operations. Let's count the money later, so I had to dig into the accounting side a little bit more, and it's always a reminder that I can do better on that end. But that was enlightening. And then really, so I guess to go a little bit deeper, I got some EDIL or EIDL, I can't remember what the program is, but I got some of that money right away, which was great because that was like, sweet, I can, pay some creditors and got a little breathing room. And then I jumped in and I got some PPP right away, which was not right away, but more or less right when the second round happened, I got that money and was able to immediately just hire everybody back and just get back to work. So that was great. And then actually the SBA reached back out to me and said, hey, would you like any more money? And I'm like, great, sounds good. So I ended up getting a good loan from the SBA under the EDIL. And the terms are so awesome. I arbitraged the debt and I paid down a lot of debt that I had at a higher interest rate over a shorter term and was able to, so, I mean, it's really changed my cash flow situation overall. And, I knew that my cash flow situation was terrible, based on my debt level. And again, any opportunity I can to reinforce that into my brain, is a good one. We've been super conservative on, buying new inventory and stuff. It's been, again, the garden center is overall a tough business, but so I just haven't gambled too much on having inventory that I may or may not sell. And then honestly, probably the biggest impact is it's given me some time to digest podcasts and just other business stuff, really be able to think holistically about my business. So it's helped me become a little more proactive in my digital marketing. I mean, I've known forever, like, oh, it's all about content and stuff. And I didn't, I've got all these great ideas, but I finally started acting on some of them. And I am an action guy. Like I definitely have been around long enough to know that, talk is one thing and actually doing is another. And just like any system is better than no system, any content is better than no content, I think. And just the idea of producing some stuff to get out there has been, it's been fun and exciting and, kind of opens up the world of hey, go out, keep doing this. This will work.
Yeah, good. Excellent. And you mentioned you pivoted in a couple instances with curbside pickup and with the car business and going to people's houses. And so
yeah, absolutely. I mean, we were planning on doing the mobile the mobile system anyway with car washes, and obviously the COVID world just was like, yeah, duh, you should have been doing this a year ago, so you're ready to go. And again, with everything we do, where it's just like, hey, we'll bring, we did some minimums. If people hit a $50 minimum and lived within a couple miles of the store, we would do free delivery and did kind of affordable delivery for folks outside of that, as long as they hit some minimums, which we'll keep doing. And again, it reiterated to me that we are in a do-it-for-me society. So if I can create enough demand, we can be super efficient on the delivery side and keeping it in-house. I've looked at some outsourcing like roadie and stuff for some of our hard goods. Again, a lot of what we do does require a little bit of know-how and work. If we're doing a garden installation, we bring a raised bed to someone's got to bag some soil or wheelbarrow some soil over to where it is. So it's not necessarily outsourceable. But again, it's kind of like you hit a critical mass, and before you know it, it's like, all right, sweet, I've got 3 in 30327 this morning. We can definitely get that knocked out. So Christmas trees, I've learned it. Again, we've been service oriented with Christmas forever, and you wouldn't believe how many deliveries my guys do every day during Christmas tree season.
I bet it's a lot.
Yeah.
My wife this morning was commenting. She said, "Oh yeah, I know tradition trees. It's like we see them around around Metro Atlanta." So
that's rewarding for sure, because for a long time it was. I'm still known in most circles as the Christmas tree guy. Like that's what people think about me. So, and again, honestly, it shows you the power of marketing. I mean, you can, and again, we'll see what happens this retail season. It's a whole, I'm not sure I haven't decided yet what I'm going to do from a number of location standpoint. It's certainly, it's gambling one way or another. I do have a marketing idea that I'm going to launch in July, and we'll see how that goes. But with our business, since it's a pop-up, we could move, like sometimes we get bounced, something develops on a corner that we've been on for a long time, and we can move a quarter of a mile down the street and we'll still lose 30-40% of our folks, just because they tie it into a location. It's weird. It's like people just tie it to a location. So, because we're not there every day, they're not driving by the sign every single day and saying, oh, it's
I got it.
Trees versus Dunkin' Donuts or McDonald's or whatever. So we have that branding issue has been a challenge for me forever. And, again, that's why having the year-round brick and mortar business and that just the tradition brand is really what I'm focusing on for people to think about. But it's great that your wife recognizes tradition trees. That warms the heart.
Yep. So it's said that smart people learn from their mistakes, and not so smart people don't learn. And what did you learn? What have you learned from the mistakes you made over the past 3, 4, 5 months?
I probably could have,
or let's not limit it to 3 or 4 months. Just, sure. I guess in general, what as an entrepreneur, what are 1 or 2 of the big lessons you learned from mistakes you made?
I tell you what, sometimes as an entrepreneur, once I make a decision, I'm quick to act, but sometimes I take a long time to make decisions because I don't want to make a mistake. And part of that is the pressure I have on myself without any partners and all that kind of stuff. It's like I don't want to make mistakes. At the same time, that paralysis by analysis can affect everybody, and I definitely feel like there's seeing the successes I've had with just some little tests here and there, just make me wish I had acted quicker on some things, and or think more about, hey, I guess a different risk analysis. I've thought like, oh, I've got to take this thing to 11 to try it or to launch it. You don't. You can just get something out there to see what the market looks like.
Right.
And then finally, I laugh because it's kind of like I got my I've been selling Christmas trees since 1996, and I really got serious about it in 2006 after some small business, other jobs, businesses unrelated to retailing. And I kind of went big time on retailing, as retailing has been in its, like the old model of retailing has been in its death throes. So I looked at it. I mean, there's been whiles where I'm like, man, there's easier ways to make money out there. That being said, I think that there is so much room for whatever the 21st century iteration of retail is. I mean, clearly it's not 30,000 foot spaces at shopping malls, right? But I think there's tons of opportunities. The between having, small retail spaces. And then again, if you're not doing something online, at least interacting with customers, brand building and stuff, you really are going to get left in the dust. And I do think that there's some really cool ways to be a retailer in the local world, in your local neighborhood, as well as online, to make yourself be as successful as you possibly can be.
Got it. Got it. Okay. Thank you for that. How about, so how about your phone number?
Shut this phone. Hold on one second. Let me cancel this one.
Yep.
Oops. Are you still there?
Yep. Still here.
I don't know why you didn't come up. Let's see here. No, that's not it. I'm seeing maybe it's down here. There we go. All right, we're back. Sorry about that.
That's okay. Let's see. Yeah, I have your email. I have your phone number, but for people listening, do you want to kind of give them how to reach out to you, a website, maybe phone number?
Sure. Traditioncompany.com is our website. That's traditioncompany spelled out.com. We have a dedicated text line at 678-964-7066. We have that through Google Voice. I'm looking at a few other options as well. I highly recommend that to any, really a service provider. If you have a lot of customer interactions, people love texting, and Google Voice was designed for, person to person, not really a business use. And I've kind of uses that since it was launched, and it's awesome. Where you can access Google Voice through your desktop or laptop and type on your keyboard, texting to customers, and it goes a long way. So I recommend that or any other text app that are out there. But yeah, 678-964-7066 is a great way to get a hold of us. Traditioncompany.com on the web. We are at Tradition on Facebook. We're at Tradition Company on Instagram. And I'm on LinkedIn at MattBowman.
Excellent. Thanks. So my last question, Matt, is what inspires you today?
My goal is to scale the business and try to get into some other markets. I'm playing with a membership model where basically folks can pay a small monthly fee and basically have access to our whole array of products and services at membership pricing, and then other folks can buy a la carte. But we can provide a lot of value to customers on a year-round level. And at the same time, more importantly, to me, with this goal, look, I could keep the business kind of where it is, keep it a local Atlanta business, and gear down and just systemize it more and hire people and stuff as I grow, where I can play a lot more golf and do golf and stuff. But I really love entrepreneurism, and I think that our world is people are thirsty for it. People want to be their own bosses, and I really think that the model that, again, I'm not quite there yet, but ultimately what I'd like to be able to do is franchise the fulfillment side. So have a young person own the lawn route, own the pressure washing, own the mobile car detailing, and then we can divide up territories, and the parent company can help from a lead gen and customer support standpoint, all that kind of stuff. But the idea that we could scale our business where not only can we satisfy the end user, but also provide entrepreneurial opportunities for folks is exciting to me, and that's really what I'm focusing on doing. Again, I'm the only C-level guy around here, and I'm again toying with the whole idea is like, hey, how do I scale? Clearly, I need to find either A, some money, or B, a partner, or somehow, some way, and that's always on my mind. At the same time, it's not necessarily on the front burner, because we'll get there when we get there. And like you said, I mean, I'm not trying to kill myself. I've got a lot going on with family and everything else. So as long as we can kind of keep our heads above water until things come back 100% back. Well, who knows if it's ever going to be 100% back to normal, but I think we'll see some growth in the service side. I really haven't poured gas on the marketing fire yet. And we're kind of putting ourselves in position to do it. Because the last thing I want to do too is overpromise and underdeliver. But I got 2 crews that go out every day, whether they're washing cars or pressure washing or cutting grass or doing whatever. We got guys working, so we definitely have capacity to handle more now. And again, I'm looking forward to testing the waters and see what happens.
Excellent. Well, thanks, Matt. I've enjoyed the time. Again, that's Matt Bowman at the Tradition Company. So,
Yeah, email is mattb@Tradition Company, but yeah, Matt Bowman on LinkedIn, Tradition Company on the web. You can always find us one way or another.
all right, let's see. Do you want to stop?